James Harden has just been officially traded for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round picks. And guys, I've got to say, with all of the Ben Simmons drama that has happened in the past few months, I really believe that this is the best possible situation for every party involved. That's what we're going to get into in this video. We are going to look at this trade from both sides, of course. We are going to talk about the new superstar duo in Joel Embiid and James Harden. And of course, we are going to discuss whether or not the Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant trio can work. I know a lot of people are doubting Ben right now. I know a lot of people are hating on Ben, but I feel like I have some pretty solid reasons as to why I think the Ben Simmons situation in Brooklyn is going to be an absolute home run. Of course, that remains to be seen, but what's up guys, Mike here, and for now, before we jump into the Ben and Brooklyn Nets side of things, let's talk 76ers basketball. Let's talk James Harden. And so looking at the Philadelphia 76ers here, first off, we just have to mention that Daryl Morey quite literally proved everyone wrong. During the summer, after Ben Simmons had his struggles, what were we told? People were saying Daryl Morey should take offers such as Malcolm Brogdon and other names. I don't really want to drag any players down here, but at the end of the day, Daryl Morey held out for what he wanted. He wanted James Harden specifically, and he just played the waiting game. He waited until there was a disgruntled star. It just so happened to be James Harden, and when that star unofficially asked out, as James Harden apparently did, Daryl Morey jumped at the chance, and now the 76ers are a legitimate NBA Finals contender. I mean, they already were with Joel Embiid having an MVP season, but with James Harden, that just brings them to another tier. Now, with James Harden, I do want to address right away the fact that he has been a little bit overweight, possibly. He has, in many people's eyes, given up on a second team, as he did the same thing with the Houston Rockets, technically. However, I just want to lay out this situation for you guys right now. I really want you to just think and put yourself in James Harden's shoes, because I think his actions are perfectly understandable, and I think the entire reason he is asking out comes down to one man, and that is Kyrie Irving. To be clear here, I'm not trying to say anything about Kyrie at all, one way or the other. All I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, James Harden has played more minutes with the Brooklyn Nets than Kyrie Irving has, despite the fact that Kyrie Irving joined the Nets 450 plus days before James Harden. So with that in mind, let's go back in the past a bit. Let's think back to when James Harden did ask out of Houston. When he was pitched on the Brooklyn Nets, he was pitched on a big three that would lessen the offensive load on him. James Harden throughout his entire career has been at times a one-man team, and that is not to take anything away from his teammates, but we all know James Harden. We all know the dribbling at the top of the key. We all know the James Harden that was searching for a foul or a step back three. That James Harden, at the end of the day, put a lot of miles on his season. James Harden spent in Houston. He averaged a combined 37 minutes a game, and he really didn't miss many games. If you look, 2013, 78 games, 14, 73, 15, 81, 16, 82, 17, 81, 2019, 78 again. The reason I bring this up is that all of these miles, of course, add up. James Harden has suffered some wear and tear on his body throughout his career, and with the Brooklyn Nets, he was pitched on a big three. He was pitched on Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant stepping up and being able to provide elite offensive level talent to lessen that offensive load on James Harden. And remember, when James Harden first got to the Nets, he was incredible. He suddenly went from the player he was in Houston to a guy who was much more team oriented, to a guy who was looking to make the extra pass, to a guy who was a great teammate. If you didn't know, last season, everyone surrounding the team said that it was not Kevin Durant, it was not Kyrie Irving, it was James Harden who was personally reaching out to rookies, who was building connections with the team, with the staff, who was trying to do his best to make sure that this situation in Brooklyn worked out. Fast forward to this season, and I can't blame Kevin Durant at all, he's been injured, but with Kyrie Irving having his whole thing in the beginning of the season and now only playing in only half of the games possibly for the rest of the season, who knows? Can we really blame James Harden here? I mean, if I was trying to win a championship at this point in my career and then the entire Kyrie Irving situation happened and it was just a distraction all year, I mean, yeah, I feel like I would want out too. End of the day here for the Philadelphia 76ers, again, Daryl Morey waited and he got his guy. I fully believe with everything I just said, combined with the fact that James Harden was asking out, means that we are going to see an improved James Harden in Philly compared to what he was with the Nets this season. Now, as for the fit with Joel Embiid, it is definitely going to be interesting. Both guys have never really played with a player like this. Yes, James Harden has played with pick and roll guys before, but Joel Embiid can shoot the three. He's an MVP candidate. He is an entirely different big man than James Harden has ever played with, but that is an amazing thing because for the first time in his career, James Harden is playing with an elite center. Hey guys, before we continue, I would like to say please subscribe and turn on post notifications if you you are enjoying this video. Subscribing and turning on post notifications helps out this channel a lot. If you are enjoying this video, if you do love the NBA, it would be awesome and greatly appreciated if you subscribed and joined the grind to 2 million. Yes, 2 million subs, guys. That is insane. We're gonna get there, and for now, let's get back to the video. And as for Joel Embiid, for the first time in his career since the decision to let Jimmy Butler go, Joel Embiid has needed a guy like James Harden. We saw at the end of last year's playoffs, Embiid was trying to do it all. He was hurt and he had some rough shooting nights and he had some rough turnover nights, but that's because no one else on the team was willing to step up. James Harden is a man who was willing to step up, and at the end of the day, James Harden is a minimum top 15 player in the NBA right now, I would say, which means combined with Joel Embiid, the 76ers are looking great. I do get that James Harden is going to sign a contract extension this season with the 76ers that is probably going to overpay him quite a bit in his older years, but that's really not the point of this, right? The point is to win a championship now. The 76ers are not wasting a year of Joel Embiid's career. They are capitalizing on his MVP type season. They are seizing the moment. They are trying to win now, and I love it. Now, switching gears here and heading over to the Brooklyn Nets side of things. First of all, Seth Curry is an incredible pickup. I feel like with all these trade rumors floating around, Seth has become kind of underrated, actually. The man is averaging 15 points a game this season, is shooting 40% from three, and is averaging 4 assists. Brooklyn made it clear around the league that they wanted more wing shooting before this whole Ben Simmons situation even happened. So the fact that they were able to get an elite wing shooter in Seth Curry along with Ben Simmons in a trade where James Harden was already asking out, to me, is just great. In the playoffs, I really expect Seth Curry to make a noticeable difference. I feel like with this roster, I mean, if Ben Simmons taps into the potential that he had before, not even the potential, if Ben Simmons is just the player that he was before, the Brooklyn Nets, if they are healthy, if they have their whole team together, are insanely good. I mean, I'll go on the record and say right now, I would easily have them as the title favorites if they are healthy, and of course, if Ben Simmons is able to perform with all eyes on him. I feel like we can all agree that shooting at the end of games was not Ben Simmons' biggest priority. In fact, as the playoffs went on, he began to attempt half the number of drives to the basket than he did in the regular season, an obvious indicator that he was scared, or at least in his head. But really, that is Ben Simmons' main problem. I don't think playing under the spotlight in general is Ben Simmons' problem. He's been under the spotlight his entire life. He was the #1 recruit. He was the #1 draft pick. He has played in multiple high-level playoff games, and he has had great games in some of those playoff games. So when I look at Ben Simmons, I don't look at all of the negatives here. I look at the player that Ben Simmons was, and I fully expect him to come back the same player. Because something else to think about, everyone has of course gotten on Ben Simmons because he has not been able to shoot the 3 ball for his entire career. With that, a lot of people were mad because they knew Ben Simmons was not practicing as much as he should be, and instead was doing things like playing Call of Duty live on stream. However, with that thought process in mind, if Ben Simmons already was an all-star and an all-NBA type talent without practicing his 3-point shot, without working as hard as everyone wanted him to, well then for me, the concern of is Ben Simmons going to be the same player is very much lessened. I mean, I think it's funny to say, but the point I'm trying to make here is that even if Ben Simmons wasn't practicing a ton while he wasn't playing, as long as he is in game shape, he will be a great player. We have seen that. His superstar talent in transition and his superstar talent on defense is not suddenly going to go away. At the end of the day, he is a 6'10" amazing defender who can also dribble the basketball and can also set up his teammates. He is actually the perfect third option for 2 offensive players. With Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons never has to think about touching the ball at the end of games. KD or Kyrie wouldn't let him anyway. They're gonna wave him off. He's gonna go where he goes. Kyrie and KD will close out games, and Ben will be left to do what he truly does best. It also, I just have to mention, I do not think that this sets a good precedent for basketball at all. I do not like the fact that Ben Simmons, a man who signed a max contract extension with his team, was able to give up on his team. He gave up on his team, let's just be clear there. Anyway, I don't like the fact that Ben Simmons was able to give up on his team and somehow still end up in the perfect scenario for him where he's able to compete for an NBA championship. I mean, this isn't even against Ben Simmons in general. This is just a dangerous precedent for the NBA. What happens if, I don't know, a guy like Zion signs a max contract, decides he doesn't like New Orleans anymore and does the same thing? Just something to consider. We definitely might be talking about that in a future video. For now though, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. If you are subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You're awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day, guys, and cue that music. If you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are definitely going to enjoy. Make sure to click on one of them. Again, I know you're gonna love
love it. And other than that, have a great day and peace.